Welcome back to my channel, Van Man Vapes. Now in this video we are not actually going to be reviewing anything. This isn't a tutorial, not sure what to call it really, sort of safety and tips. Today in this video what we're going to do is we are going to talk about Ohm's law and mech mods. Now it's not going to be in detail. I don't have a degree in physics or anything like that, but there's a lot of people I see on Facebook asking, can you explain Ohm's law in the simplest terms? I really want to sort of try a mech mod, but I don't want to blow my face off and knock my teeth out. So here it is. I'm going to give it to you, nice and simple. It's not going to be confusing, I hope. Hopefully I'll be able to help you out and get you on your path to getting mech mods. Maybe even a stacked mech mod. Honestly guys, they are... with a regulated mod, you've got the safety features. It won't let you short circuit. It won't let you fire it if it's not safe. But no, mech mods it's just raw power, and they kick like a horse. If you get your build right, they do kick like a horse. So yeah, this video hopefully is going to be a good little introduction for all you guys out there on mech mods and Ohm's law. So to start it off, before we start talking about your builds and resistance, let's give you a little safe introduction to mech mods. Now you'll have to ignore the length of this. This is a stacked mech mod. A normal size mech mod, you use the bottom sleeve for a single battery, and then obviously you've got your dripper on top. So a normal size mech mod would probably only sort of cover that. But where it's stacked, I've got the extender sleeve on there. It is running dual 18650 batteries. So yeah, so you've got quite a few different types of mechanical mods out there. You've got your normal tube mods, single battery. Now there are some companies having different sizes for the other size batteries. You've got the 26650, I think, is another size. You've got the 2700. You've got the 18650. The companies are doing it now, so you can use whatever battery you want. And each of these batteries, they do have their advantages, disadvantages, and everything. We'll probably sort of go over that in another video. So yeah, so you've got your mech mod. So you've got the tube, which is basically the chamber for your battery. They're not all the same, but sort of generally you have your button on the bottom. So what you do is you push that in, and what that does, the way it works on the inside, is that basically completes the circuit. So that's what I mean about it being raw power. There's no circuit board, there's nothing in this. It is literally a battery holder with a coil on top, and that completes the circuit. Bang. You saw that. There was no ramp up there whatsoever. I'll show you quickly on the coils, right? So you've got your coils there, you've got your button here. I'm going to push that button. What is ramp up time? I do not know. Someone please explain it to me. I do not know what ramp up time means when I'm using this. So yeah, and then obviously you've got your dripper on top of there. Now, we're not going to go into too much detail. As I said, this is going to be basic. So, yeah, you've got your single battery tube mods. Not a lot there. It's a single battery. You've got your stacked mech mods, which runs the batteries in what's called series. So, it's a series circuit. Now, what that does, please don't get confused. There's two different types. There's series and there's parallel. Now, parallel stacks the continuous drain limit, whatever you want to call it, the output of the batteries. A parallel will stack that. So say you've got two batteries that have got a 20 amp rating, a parallel box will double that. So you've then got 40 amps to play with, so you can build a little bit lower on your coils, lower resistance. Now series, what series does is series stacks the voltage output of the batteries, not the amps. So with this, even though I do have two 20 amp batteries in there, it doesn't stack it. My output limit is still only 20 amps. I can't draw any more than 20 amps from the battery. So yeah, but it's got double the voltage, hence more kick. So right. So yeah, so there's your safety. Now mech mods, you don't want to be silly with them. You want to treat them with respect. You've got, obviously, when you build, you don't have a screen on this telling you if you've got an atomizer short. So when you build on a mech, you do need to be especially careful. Please make sure that your coils are not going to touch the cap. Because unlike on a regulated mod that will tell you you've got a short, on a mech mod, it will just keep sending power, and you'll end up venting your batteries, and it'll blow up, and it'll make a mess of your face, and you'll go to hospital, and your mum will be very upset. I mean, her kid has just got themselves put in hospital with half their face missing. You'll look like Two-Face off of Batman. Yeah, so you don't want to be doing that. First of all, you want to make sure you know how to put a coil in an RDA without it touching the sides. So if you're not building your own coils yet, don't get a mech mod. Stick it on a regulated mod, get used to building, and then you can think about it. So yeah, so we've gone through parallel stacking the amp limit, series stacking the voltage limit. So now we're going to talk about Ohm's law. Now Ohm's law does come into sort of battery safety. As you all well know, batteries have ratings. They'll have their milliamp capacity, they'll have their amp output limit, and they'll have their voltage. Now most, okay, not all of them, 18650 batteries we're going to talk about here because that's what I'm using. Most of them are 4.2 volts output, I believe, or 3.7. I think a couple of 3.7, but I think they're 4.2 mainly, fully charged. Now as they lose their charge, the voltage does drop, which is called voltage sag. Don't worry about that right now. Like I said, this is going to be the basics. So yeah, when you're doing your workings out, you want to use 4.2 volts, or obviously if you're using a stacked or a series, you want to double that, so it'll be 8.4 volts. Yeah, so you've got your amp limit. Make sure you know the specifications of your battery. Make sure you know what the amp limit is. Do not abuse your batteries. So as far as building and resistance, what it is, I'll see if I can Google it and get a picture up here. There is a sum that you can use. It's a three-way sum using the resistance, the voltage, and the amp limit of the battery. Now, with any two of them, you can work out the other one. So I think it's, I will get a picture up. To save me possibly getting it wrong, I will get a picture up if I know how to use this iPhone. So here we go. Let's quickly just get on there. Let's go on Google and google.co.uk, and literally all I'm going to do is I'm going to Google Ohm's law, so you can do this yourself, and then go on images. Let's wait for that to load. I'm sorry, this is a spare phone. I'm using mine to record. This is a spare phone. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see that. So there you go. You've got V, I and R in a triangle. Now, for those of you that don't know, if something is underneath something else, it means divide. If it's next to it, it means multiply. Yes. Yes. So, right, the I, ignore the I. Let's change that to an A. The I on the bottom there, in the bottom corner, I is your amp limit, R is your resistance, your V is your voltage. So what you're going to do, you know your battery voltage, 4.2, or if you're running series, it's going to be 8.4. Now you've got your voltage and you've got your amp limit. Now what you can do, now this is one that people don't usually tell you. People tell you by working out your resistance and work out what it's pulling. So here's another way to do it. If you've got your voltage, 8.4 volts or 4.2 volts. Let's just go 4.2. Make it easy for everyone. Single battery tube mod. 4.2 volts and your amp limit of 20 amps. So what you then want to do is, if you use those two numbers, so you've got 20 amps divided by 4.2 volts. I've done that wrong. Sorry, I do apologise. 4.2 divided by 20. 0.21. So there you go. That tells you your resistance limit of your coil. That is telling you that if you want to pull 20 amps from your battery, that you can't build any lower than 0.2 ohms. So yeah, so it's quite easy to do. But then, saying that, I'm really going to go against that now, because when you're looking at your battery specs, your amp drain limit is your continuous drain. So that would be if you're running your battery from full to empty in one go, you can't pull any more than 20 amps. But see, when vaping, you're not doing it full to empty, you're doing it in bursts. Now, I'm not saying build as low as possible. Don't do that, please do not do that. Still use limits. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the safe limits. The ones that, unless you're a very, very experienced vapor, the sort of limits that people do not build below. Because to be honest, a 0.21 build on a mech mod is not going to give you a lot. It's really not. Now, I know there's this guy on Facebook, Mooch, he does all battery testing. He says never go over your continuous drain limit. Now, he's a good guy, don't get me wrong, I'm not mocking him in the slightest. He's wicked. He tests batteries, he puts graphs up, he helps the vaping community a massive, massive amount. But I'm not entirely agreeing with him on the never exceed it, because if you don't exceed it, then you're never going to get a good vape from a mech mod. So, my limits, I would say, single battery, depending what battery you're using, I would say the best two batteries out there for a mech mod, in my opinion, is a Sony VTC5A or a Samsung 25R. Now, if you're using one of those two batteries on a single battery mech mod or a Squonker, most Squonkers are mech mods, apart from a few regulated ones, and they're single batteries, most of them. Now, you don't really want to build any lower than 0.1. Now, I know I've just done that sum for you, and I have just told you that your limit should be 0.21, but so let's go 4.2 volts divided by 0.1, 42. You are going to be pulling 42 amps from that battery, but think about it realistically, the 20 amp limit is continuous drain. You're going to be taking about a 4-second pull off of that. So, as long as you don't go stupid with your builds, oh yeah, 0.05. No, don't go silly. I will give you now a safe limit that you can build down to on a mech mod, 0.1 ohms for a single battery. Obviously, with a parallel, it's going to be a bit lower. You can sort of push it a bit further because it doubles your amp rating. But I won't go into that because I haven't used a parallel. So, yeah, that's telling you you're going to pull 4.2. But I'm telling you now, that's safe to do. I do it all the time. Most vapors on Facebook, if you ask them, they will do it. So, yeah, you can get away with it. Now, if you're going to go stacked, so you want to double your voltage, now this is going to tell me 8.4 divided by 20 amp limit. That's telling me I can build to 0.42. Now, again, people go lower than that. Now, a safe sort of cut-off that I would give you is 0.3, 0.35. I wouldn't go any lower than that. Sort of aim between 0.3 and 0.4, because then you're going to get a nice warm vape, you're going to get good clouds, you're going to get good production, but you're not pushing your batteries too far. Now, in this I've got a 0.37 at the moment. So 0.37 divided by 8.4. I've just done that wrong again. 8.4 divided by 0.37 equals. So I'm only pulling 22 amps, apparently. So I could probably go a little bit lower than that. I do sometimes. Usually I sort of aim for 0.3. So, yeah, if you want to be able to go and try a mech mod, and Ohm's law, when you're watching a normal video on it, it's getting a little bit overwhelming. That's the basics of it. You've got your voltage, your amp limit, and your coil. Now, with them you can have a play around. Don't do anything silly. Make sure you know your battery's limits. Don't build too low. So like I said, for a single 18650 battery, do not go any lower than 0.1 ever. And if you're running a stacked mech mod or a series mech box, don't go any lower than 0.3 or 0.35. Stick it between 0.3 and 0.4. Do not go any lower than that. Don't go 0.2 hoping to win a cloud competition. All you'll win is a trip to hospital. So single, 0.1, series or stacked, 0.3. Do not break those limits. Don't go lower, and don't use batteries that are not suited for a mech mod. I mean, they'll be safe to use. You could put a Samsung 30Q in there, but you won't get as good a vape from it because you won't have the same sort of limits, and it can't take as much sort of abuse, so to speak. Don't abuse them. That was the wrong word, but you know what I mean. You can't push it as far. So that's a little intro to your mech mods. That's a very, very, very basic sort of ruling of Ohm's law. Is the law of amp voltage and resistance. It's the law of resistance. Don't abuse it. Don't build too low. Don't be silly. Make sure your builds aren't touching your cap. Make sure they're not below a certain resistance. Now, to check your resistance, you can either use your regulated mod, which most of them do read resistance, or you can get an ohms meter, but please don't get a cheap rubbish one. Use a decent one. Use one that's accurate. If you haven't got an accurate one, test it on 2 or 3 things first. So test it on your ohms meter and test it on your box mod. Check what your ohms are coming in at. Don't guess. Don't go, oh yeah, here's a bit of metal. If I do 6 wraps like that, yeah, I reckon that'll come in at about 0.1. Don't do it, because you might get lucky, but you might not. You might build too low. You might blow yourself up. So don't go being silly. Stick to the rules. Play it safe, and enjoy. I mean, everyone's vaping to be off the cigarettes, which is good, and some have taken it as a hobby, but don't be silly. Please do not be silly. So there's your basics of Ohm's law. There's your limits you shouldn't build below. Make sure you know your batteries. Make sure you're putting your builds in properly. Don't be silly. Don't let them touch. And that is it. That is the raw basics. If you know that, then you could probably give it a go on a mech, being careful. So please like the video. I was a bit all over the place in this video. I do apologise. I'm very tired at the moment. Please like the video. Please drop me a comment if I've said something wrong. If you want to correct me. I won't take offence. You can criticise me. I'll take criticism well. If anything, it helped me to be better. So yeah, give me a like, drop me a comment, and please subscribe to the channel. I'm doing pretty well now. I've hit 110. Keep subscribing, people, and I will see you next time.